that's really short. Now it's been pressed. Oh, it's screwed. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. Hope everybody's having a great week. Yes, this is 3 videos in the matter of a few days. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? But I didn't make a video for like 10 days last week and everybody thought something was wrong. But no, nothing was wrong. We were actually, Ron and I, getting ready for the Corvette weekend here in Arkansas, and we were shining the Corvette up, ready to go cruising all weekend, show our bad boy off, but unfortunately, we didn't think we were ready enough to actually enter the show. And there was probably, I'd say, 150 Corvettes that entered this weekend. And we were very disappointed that we ended up not entering our vet because there was not one Corvette there that was our year model. So we would have actually won an award just for showing up pretty much. So that was sort of disappointing, but we do have a small transmission leak only because whoever owned it before us had stripped one of the bolts off in the transmission and it just leaks a little bit, but that was sort of embarrassing. We didn't want to leave a puddle in the convention floor, so we didn't enter, but believe me, next year we are, and I have a feeling we'll bring the trophy home. But enough of that. I am back to making videos, and even if they're short videos, I've decided it doesn't matter. I'm going to put something out at least every 2 to 3 days. I'm at least going to try. So I brought this one home because I thought, oh, this is going to be a good one. I made a video about True Fuel, about 2 months ago, and I had lots of people watch it, about 500,000 people watch it, and a lot of people comment, and we had people that were against it and people that were for it, but I had a lot of people that were like, I've used it for years and years and never had a problem with it. And this is true. You can use it for years and years and never have a problem with it. And a lot of times you don't even know that you do have potential to have more RPMs out of your machine. And that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not going to mess up your machine. But it was just sort of a warning that if it doesn't run for no reason at all, always try a different batch of fuel, because that's what I'm seeing. I see it at least once a week at the shop, and all I do is change your gas out and it runs. So I know there's something to it. I don't know if there's just bad batches or what, but it is very possible for you to use it forever and it run just fine for you. But on the other hand, it's just something that I want you to try because it is possible that that is your issue. Like this customer right here who brought their Stihl BR700 blower in and said that it was not reaching full potential on full throttle. And so he said it was bogging down at full throttle. Customer put plug, air filter, fuel filter, and adjusted the valves. Well, it would not start after that. So what do? I check the fuel first and it is full of True Fuel. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna bring this home. We're gonna have another discussion about True Fuel. I'm gonna do a complete video where I just run it straight. I'm not gonna do any cuts. I'm going to show this thing not starting. I'm going to show me just changing the plug out after I clear the cylinder a little bit, pouring this True Fuel out, putting in my gas and getting it started. Well, I went to go do that. And you know, plans don't always end up as you hope. I went to go pull the plug and the plug boot came off. So the customer did a little bit more than he told me about. I had no clue that we had any issue here. So this part was actually still in it. So I took that out because I was going to start to fix it. And I thought, no, this would be a good video to show you. Just as a reminder, I've made a couple videos about plug boots before. I don't know why they're making them so difficult to get off, but do not pull up. Always twist, 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 and lightly pull it up and make sure you're feeling it come up, that spring part that's wrapped around the top of your spark plug. Make sure you're feeling it come up, and sometimes if it's rusted a little bit or stuck, you gotta get your flathead under there and pry it up a little bit because you will rip your boot off every time. Unfortunately, while the customer did this and didn't tell me about it, there's wire exposed. So they also trimmed it a little bit, wrapped it around the end of this wire here, hoping that would work, and that didn't, obviously, because it has no fire whatsoever. So I gotta fix that first. And might as well just give you a little refresher on it because I know a lot of people have these, and it's the same way with the Echo backpack blowers. They're tough to get off too, and I see a lot of customers rip their boots off. Now, do not try to fix it while this cover is on. You have to remove it because you have to have some wire to play with. Hopefully the customer didn't cut his wire too short and we can get this repaired. So let's start removing this cover. I get asked a lot why sometimes I use power tools and sometimes I don't. That's because sometimes I'm afraid I'm going to strip things out, and sometimes I'm not so afraid that I'm going to. Sometimes I'll just start things, especially with these rewinds, and that's how I like to do it. That last video I did on the Briggs & Stratton, that's 41 years old. Yeah, I did all that by hand just because it's sort of hard to do backwards. But I just, you know, I don't want to break anything on accident. So, all right. So we get our rewind off here. We got 4 screws. There we go. And this is super easy to fix. So if it does happen to you, do not cut your wire. All right, 4 screws. Just pull back. You gotta lift it up over these little buffer things right there. And we're gonna remove this cover right here. Now to do that, we do need to move that wire out of the way. There's 1 screw holding it here and 1 up here. And the customer said, whenever he said he adjusted his valves, I was a little scared about that, but the way he talked about it, he sounded like he knew what he was doing, but that that makes me think a little different. So, oh wow, that's really short. Now it's been pressed. Oh, it's screwed. Oh no, it's way too short and it's been cut by the... What is going on here? Okay. Thankfully, I have a BR600 or 700 sitting over in the garage right there that's trash. I'm gonna go steal the coil off it. And before I do that, take this one off. Now I believe these might have little spacers behind them. I'm not sure. Some of them do, some of them don't. Yeah, I think it does. And when you take your coil off, a lot of times, yep, like that, it can fall down and you not even notice it right there. Thank goodness I caught it between my legs. It is a tiny little spacer that needs to be put back behind. Let's put my hand under there, maybe. Where'd the other one go? Oh, it's still on the coil. Because it will not work if you don't have those. So, set those somewhere safe. And we're good to go. Another thing I see with these a lot, they always have an oily buildup residue down here. I think they start to leak, but sometimes they're way too bad and that's an issue. Hopefully that's not the issue on this one. Well, I figured out what he did. When I took off the other coil, it actually goes on the outside. That's what this little groove right here is for. So when it sits on here, it doesn't sit against the cylinder block. Well, when he put it back together, he pretty much, man, I'm gonna bring you in to see how much he pinched it. He put it on the inside, probably so it would reach after he cut it off a little bit. And it pinched itself between the cylinder block and this little plastic part right here. You can see it's a little black right there and almost cut it in 2. Let me show you. So yeah, you can see here, it totally pinched it almost completely in 2. So that's trash. So a brand new coil for this thing is about $100. When I look it up online, it says it's like 150 pounds if you live across the pond. So it's not cheap. So I'm gonna sell them this used one for $40. That'd be good. Yeah, I mean, these don't go out that often, and I think it's totally worth the 40. All right, so we are going to put my coil on now. I'm gonna go ahead and start these bolts, put the spacers on, that way I don't fight to get them on. Oop, move my magnet so it doesn't suck anything up. Get these going, and my finger, tighten them in there a little bit. There's my tool. You want to pay attention. You don't want to lose those spacers as you're putting it on. And just lightly seat everything down. Just like that. I always use a business card because it's the easiest way for me to do it. That is tight already, too tight. There we go. Alright, let it suction down to that magnet, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten it up. Whoop! Tighten it up. Got the dropsies today. Now that we got that on, we can go ahead and put this, I'm gonna get my business card out of there. Put this back on so we know that this is going to go on the outside, not the inside. Tuck all this back in its place, line it all up. This goes behind these two little prongs. I'm going to put them in at the same time that I'm tightening all this down. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm trusting that the guy knew how to do his valves. He said he really didn't turn them that much, maybe a quarter turn, and you really can't mess it up on just a quarter turn. We'll see. I don't know. I might have to tear it back apart. Hopefully not. I don't know much about the HIPAA stuff. They are trying to contact me to sell their stuff. I don't know anything about them. That's the new plug the guy put in there, but I'm gonna put my NGK in because I just don't know about those yet. Have not had any experience, and that is actually the first one I've ever seen. All right, so I got her all put back together now, and I'm pretty confident that it's got fire. But I'm not going to choke it. I'm not going to prime it because the cylinder probably still had this fuel in it, and I didn't change this fuel out either. So we're going to see if it does actually start now and what it does, because before he did all that stuff, it was bogging down and wouldn't go to full throttle. So let's start it up and see. I don't know if what he did actually did make it work, and then it wouldn't start because he destroyed his magneto, but runs pretty good now, and I guess I don't have any more to show you. That's the fix. So thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. If you haven't found us on Facebook yet, find us at facebook.com/Chickanic. Find us at Instagram at The Real Chickanic, or find us at Chickanic.com where you get your own t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.